Hello and welcome to the Awakening of the Rebellion 2.50 Let's Play. Part 9, I believe. I am that one bullet. And let's see. So here, what's happening here is, since I conquered a planet near Zar, which you see up in the left corner, you get this mission, and you get Ace Azaman, and you have to infiltrate Zar. And it's a very interesting mission, because I think it was handcrafted by the people in Steiner Modding Group, so it's like one of those custom missions, and it's interesting to see a mission pulled off in Galactic Conquest. So you'll see that in a little bit. I was trying to attack Bathory, and there's going to be some action going on in the top right part of the galactic map as the Empire tries to overrun me. It gets pretty intense. So here we have a space battle. They're coming in, I think, with like a couple Star Destroyer, one Star Destroyer, two Venators, and a Victory, if I'm not mistaken. Or something like that. So, I wish this was a level 3 space station, because level 3 space stations have those guns. They have a lot more extra powerful guns, and they have more shields and more fighters. Level 2 space stations usually die to a fleet like this. I might be able to survive if this was a level 3, but I'm going to send my fighters out anyways. And as they're going along, so right now I am doing these Let's Plays in the style of post-commentary, as in I record first and then I commentate later, which I know is not actually how a Let's Play is supposed to be. However, in this scenario, I feel that this game, I mean, I'm not editing the gameplay at all, so it's always, there's never any behind-the-scenes action or whatever, so it really, truly, the gameplay is truly, you know, sequential as a Let's Play should be. However, yeah, I've been recently playing at night, and I don't want to do commentaries at night. So I want to keep the Let's Play going, and this is sort of my remedy. So I hope it doesn't bother anyone that it's a post-commentary instead of live commentary. I'm not going to stop doing live commentaries. Recently I've been doing post because it just works out for me that way. So, my goodness. So these Venators, I started playing a little bit of the Empire side, and I have a little bit of footage of that that I might turn into some sort of space battle-y montage. I want to do something separate for the Empire that isn't another Let's Play, because then two Let's Plays at once with the same game gets a little confusing. But Venators, oh my... So, you'll see multiple times in this gameplay, I get overrun by TIE Fighters and TIE Bombers. Like, Venators spawn, I think, in this mod, they spawn 3 TIE Fighters and 3 Bombers. 3 TIE Bombers, and when you have 2 of them in a battle, they get pretty ridiculous, because they could just rush you with these bombers, and at this point the Rebellion doesn't, I don't have a lot of fighters, because fighters, X-Wings, which are the only worth fighter at the moment, cost around 500 apiece, 500 a squadron, and so at this stage, there isn't a lot of fighters that I own. So I go off of fighters that are spawned by ships, and that also isn't as much as the Empire has. Here I'm using Y-wing bombers to take out other fighters, and that's never a good idea. Y-wings are slow, lethargic. They will take out a ship, but fighter purposes, don't even. Just no. It's not gonna work. So, yeah, that's why I sent an X-Wing over. Thankfully, one spawned out of the station. So what I'm doing here also is, I'm attacking engines. of the ship instead of the shield. Normally I'd go for the shield generators, but they're coming in at a steady pace. If you get 2 ships at once going at your space station, it's too much. The space station is just going to get destroyed. So I destroy one engine, one of the Venator's engines, so that it stops, and there's a little bit of a gap between incoming ships, so I can have time to adjust. Honestly, though, these types of battles where it's space station versus incoming ships with Rebellion get really repetitive in this mod. As in, like, you're gonna see a couple of these probably down the line that that basically play out the exact same way, and it's just bombers destroy shields, engines, and then the ship comes in eventually, and then the space station lights it up. And I don't know, I don't know if I should edit them, because in the style of a Let's Play, you shouldn't really edit anything out, but at the same time, I don't know, it's another choice that I'd have to make, because if I were to edit things out, I'd also have to gut the commentary if I was doing it live. So if they get pretty repetitive, I'll start editing them, but for now, you'll just get to see every space battle versus a space station. This shot is extremely cool. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the way the X-Wings were flying in to kill the Venator was just pretty damn epic. The camera angle I set up. And then even the camera angles provided through the movie right here is pretty awesome. Sometimes that camera really gets buggy. Like, I have a couple of sequences that I've recorded for the Empire that, oh my goodness, the camera just doesn't know what to focus on. It should honestly focus on the fighters attacking ships and the ships themselves, and it ends up focusing on space stations and like random TIE fighters flying around. I don't know. So I take down one Venator, but as you can see, my space station's already halfway damaged, and the second Venator is firing at my space station, and the space station can't shoot back. As like, it's only shooting back with one laser right now. So this battle is pretty much lost. Once you get past the shields, the Rebel space station has very little health, and you can see they're even massing TIE bombers and TIE scimitars and all sorts of crap. They're just rushing me with these fighters. I did not expect this from the Empire. So eventually this is gonna wind down. I was hoping to at least take out one other Venator, but when this Star Destroyer comes in, as you'll see it come in, it's going to decimate everything, along with the shitload of fighters that are about to come and attack me. I don't know why I switched targets there. I went after that thing. I don't know why I would, but I should have kept going at the Venator. You can see, yeah, here comes this mass of TIE fighters. This is just, and when there's flak coming from ships, as strong as X-Wings are, they just can't handle that sort of firepower. We can't handle that sort of firepower. What was that line from Star Wars? Well, I forget which one it was. I haven't watched those movies in forever, honestly. It's been a long time. Maybe I should. Except the prequels. I think I should just skip them. Maybe, well, the prequels, maybe I should watch the, what is it, the Revenge of the Sith. That one's okay. But I should just skip the rest of them because they're pretty bad. There's nothing worthwhile in them. Oh, speaking of movies, also, there's Star Wars 7. So, when I heard about this, J.J. Abrams is going to be directing it or something like that, and I don't know, like, oh, hold on. First, check out that X-Wing. Did you see how much lasers this thing's dodging? Look at that. Unfortunately, man, he dodged so much lasers, but his luck ran out on him. It was just that one lone X-Wing. And this just shows you how cool the scale could be if it was done a little bit differently. If this game was a little bit more up close, and a little less RTS over like top down feel. Sort of, I think I was ready to move a fleet, and then I saw that. I'm like, whoa, nope, 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 nope. Thankfully, I sent that spy there before I suicided all my ships. Um, oh my goodness! So I'm attacking Bothui as well. I've literally gone on. The gameplay is cutting off my talking points, so I got cut off on the Star Wars movie, and then, oh gosh, I already forgot what the second one was. So let's just start the slate fresh. So I'm attacking Bothui, and let's see what's important about this battle. Oh well, because so the premise is that in the last video that I was supposed to set up Bothui as sort of a stronghold, and um, and you can see why I would choose this. First of all, Bothans help you out if you're the rebellion. Bothan spies, you know, from the movies or whatever lore you might read. So also, it's because when the attacker starts, you can see you only get 3 reinforcement points, and that helps. That delays their impending assault. And you'll see that if you look in the bottom left corner of the minimap, that's where the base is located, and the shield generator is contained within the shield. And it's really easy to just set up AA turrets, and they can't orbitally bombard you because you have a shield up. And then there's only 2 lanes, as you can see, that you can come through. And so you just set up 1 army in one position, 1 army in a second position, enveloped by a shield. Shield generator has to be killed by fighters because no infantry is going to get through. So you just set up A stuff near the shield generator, and nothing can break through, usually. And you'll see how much turrets. Hold on. So I'm going to land these troops real fast. A thing about the numbering system that I use, I actually number, as you can see, quick select, number tanks and rebel infantry separately, because it's not a good idea to try and move in tanks with slow infantry. You want tanks to move fast, and infantry slows them down, and they'll get cut down by turrets. So watch, this is why. So I start attacking that turret with the shield generator, and you see if you when you bring the infantry up, the tanks can't move back because the infantry are blocking their path. But thankfully that tank didn't die. And you see, here's the turrets I was talking about. 4 turrets, and the shield is basically where the army just finished off, like the last soldier battalion. That is where the shield stops. So you have 4 turrets. So you could set up, like, for example, 1 anti-infantry, 1 anti-vehicle, and then the next 2 could be health and vehicle repair. And you could just sit there and take damage, just massively tank damage as people come in through the shield generator, and they can't do anything to you. It's really it's a very cheap strategy, but hey, war is hell. So I'm using infantry here to destroy the bunker because they have rocket launchers versus the tanks, just laser cannons. Those tanks actually, if you could see, they have missile pods on the side. I know they're not in focus right now, but they have missile pods on the side that are only anti-aircraft. So they're actually anti-aircraft vehicles that shoot at TIE fighters and gunships and whatnot. And you can see here, I brought the infantry up to kill the anti-vehicle turret because there's a lot of infantry, and the anti-vehicle turret shoots slow. The turrets shoot a little differently than the vanilla game, thankfully, because the vanilla game has pretty powerful turrets. And that's why I brought the infantry to attack the vehicle turret, because the vehicle turret won't be able to shoot down all my infantry. Poor rebels are getting slaughtered by automated turrets. I always hated that idea, like just the idea of getting killed by a computer. It's like your life almost went to waste. Like if you're attacking a turret like that, just like, because I'm thinking of like the Terminator series of movies where like people are dying to machines, and they're not really like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like it's almost like your effort is futile because it's like it's a machine that's killing you, and it's like you're like you know that the machine is, I don't know how to explain it, but it takes the value or the honor, maybe is the right word, out of dying to a machine. I don't know. But anyways, I keep forgetting about Bail Organa. You saw Bail Organa there. He always spawns on a freaking. He's a space unit. He doesn't even have a ground, like. He's not even a ground hero. And he just spawns back. It doesn't tell you that he spawned. It's very unnoticeable. And you get a lot of. You get a lot of stuff from him, like sending him on those missions, those like steal missions, as if he was C-3PO. And you get a lot from it. And I always forget to just. He's so unnoticeable. Unfortunately, you have to be on top of that shit. Here I'm just checking out what defenses I have. And if you didn't know about this, you can actually zoom into the ground, which that came, I think, in the expansion pack, that you could zoom in and replace where your structures were and where your troops spawned. I believe. I'm not sure. I have very faint memory of Empire War without the expansion pack. I barely played it. Honestly, I don't remember. I didn't really play Empire War before mods. I got the game and I was like, yeah, it's nice. And then I found out that they mod the game and that it's really relatively simple to mod. And then I started modding and I started finding out these awesome mods. I think my first mod was actually a Steiner mod, so I'm a Steiner fanboy, I guess, which is the people who made this mod. Honestly, in my opinion, nothing compares to this mod. I'm sorry. Just, they replace so much little things that when you go to a regular mod, you just get kind of like, this, like they didn't change. Like, look at the hardpoint indicators. If you saw them, they're different than the regular game, and they're more clean and easier to notice, and they're not as obstructive. When you're clicking on them, you actually get to see the ship behind the buttons. And the fighter icons have been changed because the regular icons look kind of, they look low res, and then they fixed it by making these awesome, nice quality icons for the ships. And the way they changed the abilities, like the fact right there, I just clicked the switch to ion cannon versus the regular game where it just fires off like an ion cannon once. Here it's just a steady stream of ion cannon firing out of the bombers. Oh, and those blasted Z95s you see on the screen, those things suck. Ugh. You'll see how many die in this short little engagement. So what I'm doing in this battle is I'm attacking Bastion. Oh yeah, because Bastion got taken over in an earlier episode, and so now this is the retaliating force, which is the same force, except now their defenses are lowered. So I think their only defense was this dreadnought and then a space station. And this dreadnought's just getting destroyed. This is a cool, so the assault frigate. Notice how similar in this angle the assault frigate is to the dreadnought. That's because the assault frigate is actually a modification on top of the dreadnought. And I think this mod pulls that off very well. That sort of, the feel that it's a modded version. Because the original game has this like bloated assault frigate, I think. It was like Assault Frigate Mark II or something. And it's just, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel, because it's supposed to be a dreadnought that's been modified, but the Mark II doesn't give that feel, whereas the one they added in this mod gives that feel right there. And look at that, look at those cool ass abilities on the A-Wings. Oh, I'm sorry, I just love this mod. It's too great. Like, because the regular game, I don't know, there aren't enough ships for a Star Wars game, and a lot of mods don't have a lot of diversity. Also, what's amazing about this mod is the effects of the lasers. I see a lot of mods that use the regular lasers that were included in the regular game, and those look really bad. But the lasers in this game just look awesome. They look like some out of the movies, and the shield effects too. The way they have different colors and the bounce effects, and I don't know, something about this mod. Nothing else can match up to it. Even Republic at War, which is an amazing mod. I don't know if any of you have played Republic at War. Republic at War is a serious overhaul, but even that mod just doesn't have that feel. That I can't describe it. It's just, this is the mod in my opinion. Republic at War, I have downloaded. Republic at War is, I might do a video on it sometime. It's a little different. It still uses the same buying systems from the regular game, and so what you get is basically the name of the game in that mod is to just spam units, which is, I guess, how, I don't know, I guess sort of that gives off the feel of the Clone Wars. But to me, it's not as enjoyable of a game because you're not as restricted as you are in Awakening of the Rebellion, where every ship counts. Like every single ship matters, and you have to be careful. So you see me take out this space station yet again. Kind of a dull battle, but I tried to pull off some nice camera angles, and hopefully that made it a little more entertaining. Unfortunately, in the beginning, yeah, I'm selling the extra fighter because it sucks. Unfortunately, what I was getting at is in the beginning of this, when you start off Galactic Conquest, you get really boring battles. But this is about to change it. And this space battle, I'll leave as a cliffhanger for the next part. So I'll see you then.